Hello, my name is Trevor Valenzuela, but if you're watching this, you probably already know that. This episode is late. It's very late, mostly my own fault. We had troubles getting together some of the clips for the Multiverse, and because of that, I postponed it on top of, you'll see why in a second. This podcast required 10 seconds of editing every single time either me or John started speaking. So it took a lot longer to edit than I was expecting. So just bear with us. Bear with me more than John because he is on it and I am really the one who's slacking. So I know there's a delay. It will continue. It will continue as planned. After this, I'm on full force episode 30 and episode 10, and then we should get those done around the time New Year's happens. Fingers crossed. So that being said, enjoy the podcast.
Love you, bro.
The guy! Oh my
Hey, down, this is Paul. Hey, if you get a chance, if you give me a call back, please.
You
Love you,
gotta
bro.
run,
I want to
Jeremy.
talk to you about the house. Hey, down, this is Paul. Love you, bro. Hey, down, this is Paul. Love you, bro.
Hi, I'm Caps Off.
Hi. I don't like that.
Nice to meet you.
Well, that was the first time we could shake hands
On camera,
and
yeah.
we'll be able to see it.
Yeah,
Period.
it's about that time of year. It is
The caps off.
Chanukah.
Right. I was gonna say the caps off holiday special.
Right, yeah.
What else could it be?
What else could it be? I did not listen to last year's. I said I would,
Oh yeah,
I
I said I was gonna do it too, and I didn't.
so I
either.
have no idea what we were talking about then.
I believe last year we just did we went over the UK Christmas. I'm pretty sure because we
Yeah.
were looking for American Christmas lore, and most of it was, which that would actually kind of make sense that it would be based off of UK. I don't know why we were so confused by that last year because a lot of traditions that
Because
come
we're
through
Americans
because,
and
there
it's
was-
all about us, don't
yeah,
you know?
yeah, but there was that whole pilgrim thing,
Yeah.
that whole debacle over years.
I made some dumb game. I think I remember about for you and Alyssa. You both had to guess. I was reading you stats.
Yeah.
I was reading you stats about Christmas in the UK. Like how many people do this and how many people do
Well, I
that.
kind of have a similar thing today.
Okay,
I don't know if you want to dive right into it.
Sure. There's something I kind of wanted to talk about.
Okay.
We
Hell
had
yeah.
a plan that we were gonna do this year. If you remember.
I do. I try not to.
And then we didn't do it because I had the Multiverse and I didn't want to work on it.
Yeah.
It was the Caps Off Christmas special, and I think we should really dive into what we were planning on for that because
I would love to.
because at this time next year I'll be living in LA, so it probably won't happen.
We will tell the tales of what would have been.
All right, so what do you want to hit first?
On the what we had planned.
Yeah.
I don't know what we could do with. We were basically planning. The first idea was claymation, and then I heavily suggested that over time we should move that to puppets.
Right.
Because I thought in my creativity that was probably all I was really set out to do.
Sock puppets?
Yeah, like sock puppets. Not full.
You'll get that later.
Yeah, not a full claymation production because while you might be already versed in stop motion and stuff like that,
Yeah.
I have made clay things before, not anything that's supposed to go on camera or move and function on camera. And I had plenty of time to research it, and I didn't use that time at all.
The original plan was to do have it be similar to one of those Rankin and Bass Christmas specials like Rudolph and
yeah, my plan was to
Year That
almost
Santa Claus Forgot,
just
something like that.
yank that art style too with the clay.
Yeah,
Just
no,
do
it would
it
have been
as
nice.
loosely based as I could.
Just would have been me and you. I had a really loose story planned about Santa lost his magic, and he asked us to fight a wizard. Oh, look at that bitch! Look at that bitch by the camera. Get her away! Hey! That thing's taped onto the tripod. You can't. You cannot.
That's Piper. That's Piper for you. Always got to get into things and investigate.
Yeah, we were originally so Santa lost his magic, and he asked me and you for some reason to save Christmas. We had to go and see this wizard.
Original Christmas story.
Yeah, we had to defeat a wizard to get Santa's powers back, and we were like
changing it up.
Yeah, we were like, well, we could do that, or we can make a movie to help you raise awareness about it. And he was like, no, that's really not necessary. You can just fight the wizard and defeat him, and I'll get my magic back. We were like, no, we're gonna make you a kick-ass movie, Santa, I promise. And then I don't know, we were both such perfectionists about it that it didn't get done till June, and Christmas just didn't happen. I don't know, something like that. That was the caps off Christmas special.
Turns out to be a lot more realistic than you would think.
Mm-hmm.
Like we literally brought that story to life by being so anal about how good we wanted it to be that we almost never even got started on it.
Yeah. Ironic.
Yeah.
Ironic.
It's a good story though. It probably wouldn't have, like, the quality already fell from clay to puppets, so
Yeah.
who knows if I would have even come through with the puppets in time for Christmas with that looked good.
Right. And even if we were doing clay, I would have had to start for like a half-hour long short, which is somewhere around where we were aiming. It was going to be like a mix between us talking on the podcast.
I'm not good with the deadline yet. I'm working on it.
Yeah.
I actually did really good with the deadline recently with writing a script. I had that planned for July 1st, and I just sent that to you last week. So I was so focused on how much I was planning on putting it off, and I was blowing it up in my head, and when it came down to it, I only really had to write a little bit, and which is why it came to you so fast, and I was just like making it this huge thing in my head. Yeah, which happens a lot.
I started working on that as well. It's going really well.
Oh, nice.
I'm really excited.
We can talk about that another time.
Yeah,
this
absolutely.
is the holiday special.
Right.
We don't talk shop on holiday. we gotta relax.
There are a lot of people talking about how it doesn't feel like the holiday season this year, and I cannot help but disagree. I don't know why. I've been feeling more festive this year than any other year.
I am quite figuratively going to be on the opposite side of the table.
Really?
When it comes to that, yeah.
Literally and figuratively.
Yeah.
There you are. They can see it.
Yeah. We're just going to keep doing that stuff. It's never going to let go.
You like that? Hey. So anyway.
I made this mug. You're seeing all this crazy stuff for now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was gonna bring some of the other stuff like the hat and the bottles.
Yeah.
To set up, but
we suck at product placement.
I was gonna bring the hat, but it's so long. Like Weston got me a caps off hat for my birthday. It's because of my hair, it comes down to like right above my ears, and since my hair is so long, it always looks awkward.
I love. So
I can't wear it until I have my hair.
I almost won't wear a
short.
hat unless it goes over the tip of my ears.
Really?
Yeah, because I can't stand the feeling of it going behind. This
my
isn't holiday talk either.
My ears they fan out, so if I tuck them in, then it's just like it looks really weird.
I want to dive into this because I'm actually kind of interested. So what I did was
slow getting going.
I want to emphasize, even though this is it's coming out on Christmas. This episode will be we have super Christmas decor, but there's a lot more to December than Christmas because, like you said, as
Hanukkah.
Yes. Hanukkah. As you said, as Americans, we think everything's about ourselves, but there's so much more going on in the world.
They are. What are you talking about?
So I tried to find like a list of, because I know I hear of all these other holidays that kind of go on in the winter, and you got to think, you take a step back and think how much do I actually know about any of these days. I didn't even know if some of these existed, like number 1, which takes place on December 1st, and that's kind of how we'll go through the list. It's not in like any order, good or bad. It's just
good or bad. All right, best holidays in December to worst ones. Number 1,
starting
Christmas. Number 2, all the rest.
Yeah. So December 1st is a holiday called now I'm probably gonna butcher these. A lot of them are from different countries. So
ready.
Bear with me.
Kwanaza.
It's called Mawlid. It's Mawlid. Mawlid, and it says Mawlid is the date that celebrates the birthday of the Islamic prophet Muhammad. So Islam is probably where that holiday would take place.
Why all the fucking religious deities born in December? What's up with that?
I don't know. Wasn't he Jesus?
Someone
wasn't
was
born
busy
in
and
December?
no, he was born in like
The summertime or some shit like that.
yeah, and the wise men,
Shows how much I
the
follow.
wise men got there like 2 years when he was like 2 years old already.
Is that like
it was like
really
a
how it
long
went
time.
down?
Yeah, it was a long fucking time.
I should probably look into this.
I don't know anything about religion. Every now and again, I'll talk about something that I'm totally out of my element on, and my friend Sean will text me after he listens and be like, "You got this wrong. Here's how it's right."
Sean's
Or he'll
gonna
like
love
correct
this
things.
episode then,
Yeah,
'cause we're gonna
like the
be-
last one he listened to, and as he was listening to it, he paused it to come text me like Library of Alexandria. That's when you're talking about.
Yeah. I figured that out afterwards. I called it Julius Caesar's library. The man burnt it down. So it's actually this. It starts on November 30th and it goes all the way. How many days are there in November?
30.
Is that not 30? Okay, so it's just 2 days. It's just a 2-day event. So Muhammad gets 2 days for his birthday. Could you imagine having 2 days for your birthday? You're not a prophet, but
I'm not. Are you kidding me?
could you imagine 2 days for your birthday?
Oh, I can imagine.
Would it make it less significant for one of the days, or would you be like, no, this is perfect? I have more. Like I'd take advantage of it being 2 days and plan accordingly.
Well, I guess I probably would. I mean, I don't think that's too much at all. If I'm not mistaken, London Tipton had a whole week, so.
Oh, she didn't she?
So I mean,
That's kind of how my mom's always been. Any holiday or anything like that, it's always just kind of like the whole week. It starts at the beginning of the week, and it's like Christmas is coming up, my birthday. My birthday this week, and so it's always just kind of like a
Birthday
week
this week.
long. Yeah, that's not what she sounds like.
as I get older, it feels almost like it's like
More bird-like.
the week before and the week after is your birthday because I don't see everyone on my birthday.
Yeah.
A and B, people don't order like gifts in time. Like there was a lot of people who were like, "Hey, I know it's December 4th, but I got your birthday present." And I'm
I've
like,
only
"Great,
known
you
all
can-"
year that you've been alive for 20-something years. How cheap are calendars these days? You can't. And a Sharpie. I'm not one to talk. I forget shit like that all the time. I don't
Right.
even think I have a calendar in this house right now.
I don't even think you got me anything for my birthday.
I didn't. I picked something out and I didn't get it for you.
It's okay.
I'm such a piece
I'm not.
of
I'm not
shit.
keeping track.
So coming in at number 2, as just the second one, it's the Feast of Saint Nicholas. Now here's where the game's gonna start.
Okay.
Can you make any guesses about where it's from, what it is?
The Feast of Saint Nicholas.
It's on December 6th.
I'm gonna guess. It's a European holiday. Am I right so far? Kind of feeling the room here.
Yeah.
Yeah, European.
Yeah.
German.
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Move past where it is. What's it about? European was a good answer.
I don't know. I
Almost
want to
assume
say
that about a lot of things. That
my
go back
gut
that
instinct. My gut instinct is to say That's it.
You're getting
That's
a
my
lifeline
answer.
from off camera. Alyssa's over there saying Santa. Yeah, it's fucking Saint Nick.
Yeah.
It's the origin story for Santa Claus. It's the basis for
Why
the
is he
tale of Santa
feasting?
Claus.
What's he feasting on? I was worried it was gonna be like a horror story.
It says the figure of Saint Nicholas was born in the 3rd century A.D., and it's said he used his inheritance to help the poor. He died on December 6th, the anniversary of his death, soon to become the day of celebration. So, I'm assuming they feast in honor of how many times he's like, no, I'll get the bill. You know what I mean? Like he fed poor people, and so they now get together and be like, remember when he did that? It's to Nick.
Who paid for the feast when he was dead?
Not the poor people, I'm assuming. All right. So we got, I skipped a day. December 8th. This one won't be hard to get. It's the conception of the Virgin Mary. Conception of Virgin Mary? That
one's always been weird for me. Because you think, like,
And
she's a virgin, right? And I doubt she was doing anything. I know you can break the hymen in a lot of ways, but I just assume she had her hymen intact and then just kind of gave birth.
Conception, that's when they
the whole thing
do the act, right? That's not being birthed.
That's when like sperm meets egg.
Yeah. So there's a holiday around when Virgin Mary's...
Is that all right with you?
Parent, because she wasn't...
This is Jesus Christ. Are you kidding me?
No.
You don't know when you were conceived?
Okay, but I'm saying like Jesus was like Anakin. Like he didn't have a father. He was born out of to a mother.
I know I'm not the first one to say this, but it really sounds like someone just got pregnant and was like, oh, God did it.
I could talk for days on this subject. You have no clue. And I think about that for as old as that tale is. Yeah. And it's 2020.
Does not really
nobody
sound
think
like
about
that.
this situation a lot. About whether, like, that's like, it's like OJ. We'll never know. OJ did it. But we'll never know, I guess. So I just find it a little bit odd that there's a day surrounded around not like I didn't understand the Virgin Mary's birthday. I don't understand like Virgin Mary's parents. One of them nutted, and then she came into the world.
Oh, it was her conception.
Yeah, her conception. The conception of Virgin Mary. Not like her birthday or even like I feel like even how could you track Jesus' conception? I guess go backwards towards his birth, but you would never know an exact day because like I don't know the exact day that I conceived my own son because it's a rough, there's almost no way to know exactly.
You're having so much sex, right?
Yeah.
Well, when you're banging every day, it's hard to you lose track, right? I know the day I was conceived.
Do you?
I do.
That's okay.
It's not weird because I was born a week early. So if I wasn't born a week early, I'd be November 14th. And roughly 9 months before November 14th is February 14th. Valentine's Day.
Okay.
So I feel like that kind of makes sense. Yeah.
Mine kind of goes
I know
back
you're
that
not
way
pregnant
too.
for 9 months exactly, so that could be wrong.
Yeah.
But
mine's kind of the same way with like it's really, really close to Halloween.
Yeah.
So somebody had a spooky night.
How often have you ever imagined your mom dressed as like a slutty cop? Or your dad dressed as a slutty cop?
I've seen my dad dressed as a slutty cop.
Okay,
but,
so how about a slutty
no,
nurse?
I have not. No, I haven't seen him in the nurses one.
Would your dad dress up as Slave Leia for me?
My dad, if you get enough liquor in him,
like my
would
ultimate...
dress up as anything. So, yeah, I'd say he'd do the Slave Leia.
Liquor, I hardly know her.
Well said. It'd have to probably be winter, because that's when he likes to be...
Winter, I hardly know her. All right, I'm done.
That's when he likes to be naked the most, or like in stuff like that. He does this thing where the first snow of every winter, he'll strip down completely naked. This is my father. He'll strip down completely naked and do like a victory lap around the block around his house, where the house I grew up in. And this has just been for years and years and years. Unlike his other tradition of pumpkin bowling. You seen your dad's penis? Of course. You haven't seen your dad's penis?
I have not seen my dad's penis.
I feel like that's...
Sus.
Maybe it kind of makes sense since he's not like your blood father, but I feel like a blood father would feel no hesitation to be like, there's a certain age where it's like, whatever, he's not going to remember what my dick looked like. But you always do.
Okay, don't do that. Cut the cameras. Turn that shit off.
So the next one to come up on our list is I feel like I'm gonna butcher it. It's Bodhi Day or Body Day. It's BODHI.
A day dedicated to me.
Yeah, body. BODHI. Do you have any guess of where this is from?
No.
Okay. It's
none that aren't racist.
I guess that's a good answer. It's on December 8th. It says this is the Day of Enlightenment, celebrating the day of historical Buddha experienced, the day that the historical Buddha experienced enlightenment while sitting under a tree. Just a tree?
That story. Yeah.
Oh, great. You can tell me in a minute. This date is celebrated by Buddhists across the Southeast Asia, including India, China, and Vietnam.
I don't know the story well enough to tell it to you. I know he reached enlightenment under a fucking tree. Like, I think he stayed there for like a few days, just kind of meditating.
Do you think that's anything like my story last week about doing LSD and figuring out, out the questions for life?
He didn't need it
like
though.
that.
He just kind of.
Yeah. Well, obviously
Figured it
Buddha's
out.
better than I am.
Well, right.
I would never dare to say that I come close to
He's
Buddha.
not quite as handsome as you are, though. Him and Josh look very much alike.
He's very Buddha-esque.
Yeah. I've also
He's got that body.
because I learned about this like sophomore year that about him and him reaching enlightenment and shit, and he also apparently just looked like a normal dude. Like he wasn't fat, he wasn't or anything. Like you see the little statues, he looked like a normal guy like me and you.
So what the hell's all that all about?
I don't even
all the
remember.
pudginess.
I don't know where that came from. But
Huh. You know, things like that are always kind of like based off of
no more enlightenment. No more enlightenment.
things like that are always kind of based off of like some kind of marketing technique somewhere.
Oh,
down
yeah,
the line
probably.
when you think about it. So it was probably like some like dumpling company or something that was like, you could be like Buddha, enlightened and tubby. You keep shoving your face full of dumplings. It's got to be something like that somewhere down the line.
Yeah.
So wow, I mean, would you think that's like Buddhist Christmas, or like it's not like? I mean, it's only December 8th.
I don't think.
What do you think they do? We should really look up what some of the celebrations are for these holidays, because it doesn't really tell me on this list. It just tells me when it takes place. But I'd be really interested to see how some of these, because there's traditions that come with all of these. You can't just be like I feel like that's what Flag Day is. What the fuck do you do for Flag Day? You
don't do anything for Flag Day?
No, you're
No,
just
I'm
like,
just
yeah, it's Flag Day.
Yeah, no.
What is Flag Day?
I don't even know when that is. I forget about Flag Day all the time.
You gotta find out what Flag Day is. Someone's hiding it from us. I'm gonna get to the bottom of this Flag Day bullshit. But for now,
4th of July is a weird one, I think, because the celebration is not like. I don't know. In the art, okay, all right. It all goes back to like
American
when I
than
was in
blowing
elementary
shit up,
school.
though?
Well, that's exactly what it is. When I was in like elementary school, we were making some stuff for. It wasn't for the 4th of July, but it was like something similar, and they were like. Or maybe it was like we were just
Flag
fresh.
Day.
I don't even fucking know. I don't even know when it was. I just remember having to create something, and I drew fireworks in the sky, and the teacher was like, you have to draw a new picture because the soldiers are going to think those are bombs, and you're going to give them PTSD.
No.
She made me draw a new picture.
When was this? You said?
This was like 5th grade, 6th grade.
It's always 5th grade. It's always 5th grade.
Yeah.
Can you imagine giving someone PTSD off of a crayon drawing?
Can you imagine getting PTSD off of a crayon drawing?
I don't think it's for us to decide what someone gets PTSD from.
Well, sure, but I think you were like experiencing war and you're going to see a kid's drawing. Well, okay. Okay, you know what? I stand corrected. I talked myself into believing the other side.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because like any rational
you're right,
person,
that happens.
any rational person,
I saw
like,
Iron Man
who's
3.
gonna start choking somebody because somebody dropped a pot in a pan, or like the freezer's making ice. You don't get to call people out for little things like that. You kind of just have to. But I do think it's right to be like, I don't know. Like, I feel like I should be allowed to draw these fireworks.
Right. They didn't look like explosions.
Maybe if I drew.
It was a dot with lines coming off of it. With
Maybe.
like colors, different colors. And she was like, no.
Like if you were drawing like a guy getting like mowed down on a rice field by a chopper, like maybe I'd be like, all right, don't let him see that.
Some little lady boy in a hut. Some Vietnamese lady boy. My grandpa's like, oh fuck.
That can't be
Oh
allowed.
fuck.
That can't be allowed. Next is December 12th. Do you know what holiday falls on December 12th?
No.
I believe that's the beginning. It's the beginning of Hanukkah.
Oh.
What do you know about Hanukkah?
Some candles and shit. I used to have to.
I love it.
I used to have to sing about it when I went to Christian school.
Oh, ew.
Right?
Yeah.
Public school was not very inclusive about other holidays.
Immediately.
But when I went to Christian school, they taught us about.
So many questions.
We
popped up.
learned a lot about Hanukkah and Kwanzaa and Christmas, like almost equally all three. And then I stopped going there because it was expensive and they were a little racist.
Okay, so tell me about Hanukkah. It's fun for me
That
to put
shit
you on
was
the
like-
spot
dude,
here
that
because
shit was-
I actually don't know much about any
Well,
of these.
right, but
so-
you're asking me to recall something from like 12 years ago. No,
Which is what makes it so much
14
more fun.
years ago.
Because it's always going to be skewed
I
by
can't.
time.
I just can't. I just
You
can't
gotta know
do
something about Hanukkah.
something about Hanukkah. Hanukkah's.
You're right.
Kwanzaa's
The candles.
Jewish
That's the
one,
menorah, right? The candles.
Right? Yeah, I think
How many
so.
of them are there?
Are there 7? I think there are 7. There are 9.
There's
9.
one on each side and one in the middle.
Okay. It
There's
looks
one
like
out
it
by
could be
the-
7 because of the 3.
Unless
It could
there
be
is-
3.
Is it 3? I thought is it a week?
Is it like the
It's 7
Dragon
or 9
Balls?
days, I can't remember.
You gotta collect all the candles.
I don't know. Why don't you ask somebody who celebrates Hanukkah? You're like, hey, so your holiday is like Dragon Ball, right? Like, you guys talk to
Summon
Goku,
Muhammad.
or you guys charge up for multiple episodes in a row?
I think that's called Shiva. See, if you know Jewish traditions, that's funny because that's when somebody dies and they stay. I think it's for 7 days, immediately like in one spot without eating or leaving or doing anything in remembrance for the person. So that's kind of like charging up if you think about it. It's not exactly like getting ready for like a Kamehameha. Exactly. It's more just sad.
Yeah, no. I guess I'm a little ashamed to say I'm not too
Versed on Hanukkah.
yeah versed on I guess Jewish
Well, you're not
culture in
Jewish,
general.
yeah.
You know,
I mean,
the shekels are running low in my brain.
okay, so you got the menorah. What else was there? Is the dreidel, is that part of Hanukkah or is that just a Jewish thing? That's like the top thing, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think it's a Hanukkah thing.
I hope nobody Jewish watches
There's
this.
9 candles.
What is do you know what the point of that thing is? They just spin it around?
It's part of a game, and you sing a little song to go with it. Yeah.
Do you know the song?
Dreidel, 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 something, something, something.
I made you out of clay.
Yeah, see, my wife. So much. See, that's funny too because Borat hates Jews.
Right. Naturally.
This,
Ari Shafir used to have this little comedy sketch thing called The Amazing Racist, where he would do really awful, horrible racist things. And I'm pretty sure they were all, I really hope to God they were all staged. Because one of them was like, he went into a Jewish market and was asking people to sign a petition
Like a hidden
apologizing.
camera
Yeah, apologizing for killing Jesus Christ.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And one guy was like, you can't be doing that in the store. He's like an employee. And he was like, no, look, just write your name. You can just write your name. It's okay. And he's like, that's his Jew name. And he was like, no, it's all right. Just write David.
Oh no.
Like, I was like, okay, my name is David, but just, so I really hope it's staged because that would have just been awful.
Yeah, even for Joe. You did you see Borat 2? We talked about that,
I haven't
right?
seen,
Have you seen it yet?
either of the Borats.
Okay, well, Borat 2, there's a part where he goes into a synagogue to talk to, it's like it plays into the plot somehow, and a lot of that stuff is hidden camera too. And this is another one, like you're praying at stage, because he goes in and there's these 2 or 3 old like little Jewish ladies sitting there doing whatever they do in synagogues, praying. Yeah, I guess. I'm not religious at all, so I can't say.
Someone from the church.
And
Who's that guy up there on the cross?
and Borat comes in, and he's like,
Somebody grab him a cheeseburger.
it's his way of committing suicide, and he is coming in and he's like mocking the Jews, and he's got like a big fake nose and big like claws and stuff, and he's like comes up to the ladies and is like, all right, I'm ready for
Claws.
you to claw me apart and devour me with your Jew claws and stuff. It's awful. It's the worst. You should really watch the movie. I don't think that Sacha Baron Cohen really hates Jews the way Borat does.
Right.
It's it wouldn't make sense because based off of like all of his other characters. But God, does he play the part really well for the anti-Semitism?
Yeah, there's I think I read that in some copies, or maybe all of the copies of the original Borat, when you're selecting subtitles, you can pick Hebrew, and if you do, it takes you to a separate menu.
Yeah.
It says you've been trapped, Jew. Wait for authorities.
Let me read this overview for Hanukkah. It says, the Jewish Festival of Lights typically falls during the month of December and commemorates the dedication of the Second Temple after it was looted by King Antiochus of Syria. I've never heard any of this stuff before. Have you ever heard of that? Any of that?
Yeah.
Hanukkah lore?
Dude, this is like basic
I
stuff.
could get into this.
You're
Great SpongeBob.
a bigot through and through. Oh my God, dude. Look at this guy.
It is
Doesn't know about King
What's
Ebenezer.
Abraham?
Ebonitis. Sorry.
That's you're getting further away.
What was it?
It was I don't even. It's like Antiochus or Antiochus. It's Antiochus or Chus. Antiochus of Syria, king of Syria.
Yeah, who doesn't know that?
Idiot.
It's celebrated for 8 days or 8 nights and days, according to tradition. In the middle of the destruction, the people the destruction of the temple. I thought that was talking about like what you do during the 8 days, 8 night days.
You destroy
8 days a
temples?
night. Yeah.
Like, holy shit.
Well, while you're in
Why
the
isn't
middle
anybody
of,
talking about this?
these Jews are just going out and looting. I'm just gonna have so many snippets throughout Caps Off that are just gonna make me look so bad.
Oh yeah, one day I'll just
Put a
collect them all.
compilation
One day
together.
you'll make the wrong step around me. Just grab all the sound bites.
I'm gonna
Like,
do
all right,
you.
John, you're coming down.
I'll do us all a favor and never approach politics.
That's all right. You say these things on Caps Off. I say these things seriously behind closed doors.
Ooh.
I want to back up. I'll reread that last part. According to tradition, in the middle of the destruction, the people found enough oil to light the menorah. See, I found another word. It's candelabrum.
Candle.
Candelabrum.
Candelabra.
Candelabrum. Is that what it is?
Candelabra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the supply lasted for 8 days, enough time for more to be procured. So the original, or like Hanukkah that we would do today is only 8 days, but it sounds like these guys kept Hanukkah going for a while.
Oh, right. At the end of the 8 days, they started another 8 days.
I feel like if Hanukkah is anything like Christmas, like if it's really what they say and it's like the Jewish Christmas, I don't know why you wouldn't just keep filling the menorah.
Ben Shapiro would celebrate Hanukkah, right?
Yeah, he's Jewish.
Why do I
I'm
feel?
pretty sure.
Well, yeah. Oh, yeah, he definitely is. He's extremely
Don't say it
Jewish.
like that.
What are you talking about? He wears a yarmulke everywhere he
seen
fucking
him?
goes. He's very
I don't
like
see the,
open about
like,
it.
Yeah, but the
But,
yarmulke
like,
kind of sits on the almost like back of the head, and I don't see the back.
The
a
first
lot.
time I ever
see
saw
a
that
lot
man, I was
Really?
like, "That's
I
gotcha.
see you, Jew.
You're not hiding from me."
Smell it.
I'm gonna call my friend Dylan. He's not gonna like you very much because Dylan's Hitler.
Is there? I'm pretty sure there's like a gift system with Hanukkah too, isn't there?
I think so, maybe.
It's like
Presents.
like a gift a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, all 8 days. That's kind of cool.
That sounds
I
awful.
don't
actually.
recall
I don't
any
have the money
Christmas
for
I
that.
ever got 8 gifts.
A lot of them are smells.
Really?
Yeah.
I saw a video, a home movie, from when I think it was the first Christmas that my mom and dad were together, and so this is my stepdad, but he's my dad, and it was the first Christmas they were together, and it was just me and my brother. And in this home video, the entire living room was covered in presents for us. And I was so shocked. And I was like, what the fuck happened to that? And they were like, well, it used to be like $5 to buy a Christmas present because you were so easy to please. So more looked like, less looked like more.
It's
so
like the reverse equivalent of someone being like, oh, you were so cute. what happened?
Right.
Like, you used to care about me so much.
But they would just go to like the dollar store, like buy like really cheap shit at Walmart,
Yeah.
and then we'd come out and be like, "Oh, look at all that!"
Well, that kind of ties into a question I have for you, but I want to get through that.
Okay.
We'll do that after. But the next one to come up, December 16th, is just another one I'm probably gonna butcher.
I'm ready.
It's Las Posadas.
Okay.
Posadas. It's a Well, no, I'm gonna ask you. Do you first? Where do you think it's from? You can do a region. I won't make you go down. And then, what do you think it's about?
I'm gonna say Spain or
That's a good guess.
Mexico. It definitely sounds Spanish.
Okay, it's a celebration that takes place from December 16th all the way up to December 24th, and it reenacts Mary and Joseph's journey to Bethlehem. And in translation, in La Salvador, Las Posadas. I'm terrible at that. You should be the one reading.
Empanadas.
Empanadas. Is a popular tradition. The children go through the streets of the village asking for
Riding
an
camels.
inn. I don't think so.
Riding donkeys. That's what it was.
Is that?
Same thing.
It sounds like you know about. Do you know about Mary and Joseph's journey to Bethlehem?
Yeah. Do you not?
No,
Really?
I told you I don't know any of this shit.
Okay. Yeah. They were. They rode a donkey. She was very pregnant.
Okay.
And they were like, all right, well, she's gonna bust at any fucking moment.
Same.
And they went to like several inns, or maybe it was just one, in Bethlehem. And each of them said like, nope, we're all full. Sorry, no rooms for any pregnant women around here.
Just pregnant women.
Yeah. And then there was one guy who was like, all my rooms are full.
We're taking
but
single males over here. Single males.
No, there was there's no room. He was like, I got no rooms open. I don't have anywhere for you to stay. And they're like, please, anywhere at all. And so he was like, all right, I got this little stable. You can sit in the stable with all the animals.
Ah, that's what the nativity scene is.
And that's
okay.
what that is. He was born in a manger.
All right. Sounds like it sounds like, in the way of Christianity at least, we're just using every excuse we can to celebrate one event. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just the steps to the event. That's I can't think of any other event that you would break down like that and be like, well, this day this happened and this day this happened. A lot of things probably are, but I can't think of one right now. I'll try to challenge that sometime. Not right now.
This is gonna be my first Christmas. I'm going to my parents' house, but this is gonna be my first Christmas living on my own. So, and my house doesn't have a chimney, so I'm not quite sure how like Santa's gonna work around
When you
that.
said that, I just envisioned like you in like a Cindy Lou Who pose, like up on the window, like where are you, Christmas?
Weston and I just rewatched that movie
Oh,
a
yeah?
couple days ago.
That's golden.
Her fucking pencil.
I hate. I wanted those pencils so bad.
It's such a good movie. Everything about it is gold.
I think I went over this last year. I'm not a Christmas person.
Right.
It's just not something that ever came along, and I have always hated Christmas movies because of that. The Grinch, it will never ever be a bad movie.
It's so
it holds
good.
Up so
it's
well.
so fucking good. Can I borrow your finger for a second? He's wrapping her up.
Any time of the year that movie works. You don't have to be in the Christmas
They've
spirit.
got him up at the front, and he's like, your biddies. You two are still living. The movie's so fucking good.
And the man was literally tortured to get it done.
Yeah.
The appreciation that comes with that alone.
This is not pudding. What is it?
It's because I'm green, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so the next one to come up is, I don't think this should be on this list. It's just winter solstice. It's
the 21st.
December 20th. That's today.
That is today. It's the shortest day of the year.
Yeah. Wow,
So from here on out, the days are getting longer.
I said yeah, like I knew that, but I feel like the last time I heard someone say that was like 6th grade science class.
Really?
Yeah,
June 21st is the longest day of the year. June or July?
It's a great day. Yeah, it's June 21st,
Yeah.
summer solstice. My favorite day.
I can't figure out why.
It's my
Birthday.
birthday. Get a calendar.
No, I know your birthday. I got you something.
I knew.
Unlike some people.
I will. Okay.
You can get Jesus something for his birthday?
I'm gonna get you what I'm gonna get you what I was gonna get you for your birthday, and I promise you have to hold me to this right now on recording. It's recording, right? On recording, it's gonna be good enough that you won't care.
It better be.
You will love it. You'll put it on your shelf, and every home you move to, even when there's little feet pitter-pattering across that home's floor, you will have this on your shelf, and you will look at it, and you will love every second of it.
It better not be a nugget.
It's not a nugget.
I don't want a nugget.
Why would I just buy you a fucking honey bear nugget?
You do the voice for me.
I'm going to tape like a walkie-talkie to the back and just make sure I'm within reach. Or even it's better if I move away. And then one night you just hear the nugget like, Trevor, I'm on the shelf. Fuck's winter solstice. It's officially the first day of winter in the astronomical calendar, and the winter solstice is the day.
Dude, don't say that.
With
We're
the shortest
in the winter
period of the
solstice.
day.
At least wait till it's not around to say
I
fuck the winter
hate
solstice.
today.
Dude, I'm so sorry.
I think today is probably the coolest winter solstice that's been in over 100 years, just because of the aligning of what is it, Jupiter and Saturn?
Yeah, something like that.
So two planets are
I don't really care.
they're doing their thing up
I
there.
just don't care.
They're
I just
trying
could
their
not
best.
give a fuck.
I mean, it's a cool bright light in the sky, though. Isn't your
I
like
bet.
the reaches of your primal ape brain get a little enjoyment out of that?
No. Oh, my primal ape brain,
I
because
meant,
my
like-
skin's darker than yours. Right.
I meant more of
Right,
like
nice one.
okay.
And
No,
because
I'm, not
I'm
even gonna
Jewish.
defend that with trying to fix it. Okay, so next is this is a new one. I don't even think this should be on the list either. This is stupid. It's called Human Light. Just for the fun of it, it's a new one. I'll tell you, it started in 2001. Can you tell me any guesses?
Human
off of
Light?
What? Yeah, it's called Human Light. It's on December 23rd.
Can I have a hint?
It's a humanist holiday. That's your only hint. That's the
Thank
first.
you.
That's the
That
first thing it
helps me a
says.
lot.
It's a humanist holiday. What do you think? Like when you hear humanist, what do you think a humanist would be about?
My best guess is
Humans.
a modern, I guess like a modern day. Well, no, because hippies still exist.
Jimmy Carter.
I don't know, kind of like
Hippie like.
yeah, like the sort of like free people, like oh yeah, I don't belong to any sort of country or
I kind of
anything.
think like almost like what a nihilist is.
You think so?
Yeah, just like in the sense of like if you've heard a nihilist say like just because I know that everything there's no point to anything doesn't mean that doesn't make it a point to me. You know what I mean? So it kind of feels like that whole like I want to detach myself from religion, but not like a kind of spirituality that like kind of like the Force, that just like a feeling between humans, like trying to create an energy that almost like putting a word to like how you and I can have chemistry and we can get along and have a good conversation and stuff like that, and almost being like, oh, that's humanism. We did it. You know, we achieved that. Why
What are you
looking-
talking
Would you fucking gaslight me?
You sound like a crazy person. John, you sound insane.
So, Human Light is a humanist holiday. Human Light was first celebrated in 2001. It is designed to celebrate and express the human positive values of reason, compassion, and humanity and hope. That does not describe anything. That's like, we're humanists. Look at us. Look at us doing it. Look at you.
We're really good at that.
Yeah,
actually.
I'm a humanist now.
I'm ready to
I
celebrate
think so.
in 2 days.
Yeah, are you gonna come over for my humanism party?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I
For
wouldn't miss
Human
it wouldn't miss it for the world.
What a weird name too, Human Light. Who in 2001 was like, we need to start a new thing?
After 9/11.
I don't really know
What's
what.
asleep as fuck.
After 9/11.
Yeah, that actually, you know what? Now that you said that,
That
because
probably
of
is
9/11,
exactly
that
what it
makes
is,
a lot of
yeah.
sense. There's probably a a vast need for positivity. It's kind of like in high school we had this guy that was like the uncle of a girl that got killed in Columbine. And he went from high school to high school doing this like speech thing about how Rachel. It's called Rachel's Challenge, and it's about like being kind to each other, and basically like let's try to prevent school shooters again. Like don't be bullies. Like these kids had problems and they weren't treated nicely, and let's try to get on top of that. So that's what his whole thing was. And it wasn't in high school, it was in middle school, but we went to the high school to see it because we watched it with the high schoolers because they just packed everybody in. And I remember for like 2 weeks after that, everybody's like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to take Rachel's challenge. I'm not going to say cuss words, and I'm not going to...
Were these the same fucking kids that like took the DARE program? We're like, never, ever.
So.
Yes.
Yeah. And now they're fucking snorting Adderall off each other's asses and shit.
John Mulaney just checked into rehab.
Yeah, I think this is
cocaine and alcohol.
Was it coke? I didn't know it was coke. I heard
cocaine and alcohol.
Oh, okay. I heard about the alcohol. I didn't know coke. He doesn't strike me as like a drug person, really.
Ooh.
Really upbeat personality.
I can see coke coming from.
Oh, he talks about it a lot.
Does he?
Yes, he does.
I don't watch enough John Mulaney. But no, but yeah, it was like for like 2 weeks, everybody was just like an asshole, kind of like nice to each other, and then it had such a like boomerang
How about
effect.
this heat?
Yeah. It had such a boomerang effect that everybody started being so like just like they had so much to get out of their system after being so nice to everybody for 2 weeks.
It's fucking me. Oh my god. I'm such like a snarky smartass to everybody. And every now and again I'll be like, I should be a nicer person. I should just not make stupid jokes all the time and just be a nicer person. And then after that, I feel like I really got to just tear into some people.
There was a kid in my school who killed himself later that year. So.
Yeah.
Was it?
So good job, Trevor.
I don't know if the mic heard that, but Alyssa just said that there was a kid that killed himself. You probably put that audio in later or something like that. Was that an effect from that assembly, you think?
We did that assembly at the beginning of the year, and then he killed himself towards the middle end of the year.
So it probably had no effect on him.
I'm just saying, if the boomerang effect.
Oh, okay.
domino
So you're
effect.
saying, yeah, that boomerang might have been like, people were really nice to him, and then it swung back so hard.
Swung back
He was
hard
like,
as hell,
you know
yeah.
what? This year's my year. Things are really looking up. Everyone's been great to me right now.
Such a nice guy.
I'm starting to question the effectiveness of Rachel's challenge.
You want to bring it up to him? To
Probably
her uncle?
not. No, I think I'm gonna let him be.
I think you should.
I'm a big live and let live kind of guy.
I'm not.
Live and let die.
Yeah.
Bow. Chicken pot pie.
It's my favorite Christmas song.
Yeah.
It's Paul McCartney's Live and Let Die. My second favorite Christmas song
It's
is
the
Guns N'
second
Roses'
best
version
version
of
of
Live
that.
and Let Die.
I think Paul McCartney's it's the second best rendition of that song I've ever heard.
What's the first?
The frogs from Shrek.
Hell
They're-
yes,
Oh,
I knew you were gonna say
yeah.
that shit, bro. I knew
If
it.
I my number 3 favorite Christmas song.
My favorite song ever.
If I could figure out how to get that to be a live background on my phone, I think I would. What is that? What just that moment? Like
Scene.
it strikes
Yeah.
you the perfect way. Those frogs, like they put you in the emotion that really you need to be
That
for the
shit made me
king's
cry,
death.
dude.
I was in my fifis. What's next?
It's Joe.
Christmas. Christmas is next. That's,
What's that about?
It's December 25th. It's the Christmas is the festive Christian season celebrating. It's the season. It's the whole season. That kind of makes sense as soon as fucking people
Well, they
died.
celebrate Mary's fucking conception. Of course, it's the season.
Yeah, that's a good point. If Mary's conception makes it on the list. But that's a good point. As soon as people are finished digesting a turkey, on their way to go buy like a 72-inch, they put up the Christmas tree. So that would make sense to call it the whole season.
Does it mention Santa Claus?
No, it says celebrating the nativity of Jesus Christ.
I don't like to argue
In
online.
most Western
I don't argue online a whole lot, but whenever I see a Santa denier, I gotta step the fuck in.
You don't like Santa deniers?
No, fuck no.
Do you not like Santa deniers
Oh my
because
God.
they might be ruining it for someone, or because you're like, wait,
He's like, wait,
what are you talking
don't
about?
believe in
If
Santa?
Santa's yeah,
that sounds exactly like what a Santa denier would say.
if Santa's not real, who's bringing the presents that say from Santa?
Oh, you live by yourself this year. About to have a
You
real
son of
fun.
a bitch. He's still gonna get like coal inscribed by Santa.
No. He's gonna meet Santa this year. It's your first year living alone. You meet Santa. It's the rules. You're an adult now. Yeah.
How would you guys feel if like your presents actually showed up like in my house? Like, I was just like totally legit. Like,
You're like, oh shit, I've been naughty, haven't I?
holy fuck.
I hate you.
This is there's something that's been brought up recently. I might have even said it on the last Caps Off holiday special. There's something that's been brought up in recent years that I've always wondered since I was a little kid, and I'm happy that people are talking about it. Which is like in a lot of Christmas movies, like Santa exists, like the Santa Claus with Tim Allen.
Mm-hmm.
Santa exists, right? And adults don't believe in Santa Claus.
Right.
How do they explain the presents that are under the tree that they didn't get their kids?
They assume their other spouse bought it. But how does that explain single households like that?
That's a
right.
really good.
They just
plot
never talk
hole.
about
I never
it?
thought about that before.
Really? I used to
Yeah.
think about that shit all the time,
In
and I was like,
fact,
how come
in
no
those
one's talking
movies-
about that?
In those movies, it almost literally takes them seeing Santa like fly by for them to be like, maybe there is such a thing
Right.
as Christmas
And this fucking
spirit.
kayaks, he's pulling shit out of his bag. Are you kidding me?
I hate Tim Allen Santa because I know he hated kids.
Oh yeah, I just saw an interview the other day.
Tim
with
Allen
Tim
hated
Allen's-
kids?
Yeah, he hated
I don't
kids,
believe that.
Which is he was
literally
talking
says,
about it.
I hate kids in the fucking interview.
Yeah, he's talking about it. He's like, well, so you know how most of the elves are played by children. So a lot of these children were so young that they weren't processing the fact that they were on a movie set, and they thought they were here to actually see Santa and pretend to be an elf. So they were coming up to him while in costume and asking him all these questions and shit, and he would just give them the most like back-ass word to answer just to see their reaction and shit. And you'd have to, like, I'm sure you can
I
find
want
it
to
if you
hear
look
the
it up.
fuck out of that. Oh my god.
It's
Or
it
like-
kind of ruins the image for you because you get this like weird like joy in his face from him like getting like fucking with kids and having fun with it, and it's like, oh, that's not Santa at all. That's not the man I've loved for 3 movies. I saw a plastic version of him. That's not who I saw.
Right.
Can we talk about
That
the
is the
Santa
plastic
Claus too?
That is the plastic version of him.
you
That's not
believe
Tim
they
Allen.
gave
That's
us that?
plastic Tim Allen. He's like, I love
They
fucking
gave
with
us
kids.
that movie and they just told us to swallow it.
And they still got approved for a third one.
I know. And how shitty was that third movie?
I loved the third
I
one with
hate
Jack
the
Frost,
third
Martin
movie.
Short.
Jack
I like
Martin
Martin
Short
Short,
is Jack
but I
Frost?
hated that movie.
You have to stop.
I thought it
And
was
he made that girl
overkill.
sing the Christmas song
Yeah.
over and over and over again. Especially the part where she said Jack Frost nipping at your nose. He's like,
I
"Ah,
hate that.
again.
That's got big
was
Nathan
hard.
for you vibes when he's
It
like,
does. Again.
again, I love you. Okay, say it again. I love you.
I love you.
It doesn't make me feel good.
I loved the Santa Claus 3. Santa Claus 2 was okay. I think
The Santa Claus 2
I
is
probably
good
watched the
in
Santa
the same
Claus
way
2
that
more
like
than any of
Shrek
the
2
others.
is good. Like Shrek 1 is but this okay, so this logic doesn't immediately
Shrek
apply
2 is
because
better than
Shrek 3 is
Shrek 1.
great.
Shrek
Shrek
the
1
third-
is great.
Shrek the
2
third.
is good for like heavy meme quality.
Yeah.
And then Shrek 3 is literally the best way to end a trilogy, close second to Revenge of the Sith.
right.
So, I mean, I don't make the rules. You know? Let's get on with this list.
Yeah.
Boxing Day, December 26th. Do you know anything about Boxing Day?
That's when you pack up all the presents you didn't like and send them back to the companies they got them from.
Is that really what it is? Or
No,
is
you
that
send them back
just-
to the North Pole.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Well, I mean, Santa brought the presents,
okay.
so it only makes sense.
I don't know. You could be fucking with me hard right now, and I'd have no way of telling.
Oh.
I'm coming into this almost completely blind. Originating in the UK, Boxing Day is the day after Christmas Day. It started as a day to give gratitude to servers for services rendered. In Britain, it was a custom for tradespeople to collect Christmas boxes of money or presents on the first weekday after Christmas as thanks for good service throughout the year. So yeah, you almost exactly nailed it right there.
No.
No.
Because mine was sending presents that you didn't like back.
Well, yeah, but I'm
to the North Pole.
I'm a
where they
Santa
came
denier,
from.
so obviously I know they're going to the fucking post office. They're not going
They're
back
not.
to.
They go to
They're
the
not.
post office and then to the North Pole. I
Right.
mean, you have to mail them,
Yeah,
sure, but like
no.
that's how
Our
they
son watches this.
get there.
Get it together.
What'd you say?
What if our son watches this?
Our son will by the time my son finds this podcast, Santa will have been something that has come and gone.
It's gonna be your fault that he doesn't believe in Santa.
How crazy is it? Do you ever think about the fact that like Louis is gonna be able to listen to Caps Off and hear how the man who he sees as a father became his father, right? He became.
You're about to make me completely reevaluate my career with this podcast because I don't feel like I've said anything charming. I don't think like I've said anything
okay, but
with
he's
a
probably
lot of
gonna
wisdom.
do similar things. Like a lot of people, I think, talk about similar things or
True,
have similar
but
mindsets.
he's not my dad. I'm his dad.
Well, right.
And as a dad, you're supposed to like
What
kind of
would-
look up to your dad.
Well, right, but
I
what-
did just talk about my dad running around naked.
Would you
but-
not give just almost anything to hear your dad at 22 years old
That's a
talking with
really
his
good
pals?
point. You know what? That's
you
a
know?
really good point.
So.
It rings a lot differently with you because your dad's dead, but for me, it's
Oh
a really
no!
good point.
I mean my dad, you know, the
Yeah.
one that raised me, still him.
Yeah, I feel like he wouldn't. Oh, you know what? I'd probably really be wrong about that. He'd probably be really interesting at our age.
Yeah. Well, if not interesting, I've already kind of come to terms with the fact that I don't think him and I would have been friends.
Yeah.
But I still would like to know, like, what was that guy like when he was my age, doing my thing.
It'd be interesting to find out.
Did he have these same views? Did he value the same things in his life? You know.
Is Boxing Day? It says it was originating in the UK. Have you ever heard of? You've heard of Boxing Day?
No,
obviously.
Santa's never brought me a bad gift, so I've never had to send it back.
Okay, well, so I've heard of because I know a lot of people give their mailman gifts. Sometimes they'll give them a gift card around the holidays and stuff like that. I don't think I've ever in my life had a regular mailman though, so I've never had that kind of weird
Really?
connection. Yeah,
I had one.
at
His
least
name
I
was
don't pay
Tom.
attention enough.
He was our mailman for the first 10 years of my life. We'd always go out and say hey to him.
I tried to pay attention, a few times in my childhood, and it's not always the same person. And even the same person I very rarely saw
Really?
multiple times.
There was this guy. I used to walk my dogs, Stinky and Caesar. One's a Chihuahua and one's like a pit bull German Shepherd Rottweiler mix. And I used to walk them up and down, and I would always see this mailman on his lunch break around the times that I walked my dog, and he'd just sitting on the side of the road eating a banana. And it got to the point where I saw him so often, I just started waving at him, and he started waving back, and we just kind of knew each other in passing. And then one day, I was
This
I
would
don't
be a
remember.
really nice setup for a story if you eventually got cancer and he came to see you every day, a nice Hallmark story.
I had I had kidney failure, and he donated a kidney.
Yeah. Oh, let's write that movie if we
Kidney? You haven't introduced me.
It writes itself. What a sequel too. It's a different genre.
Oh, fuck.
None of the same characters.
And it's a Christmas miracle. Oh my god, nobody steal that. Anyway, so no, I was in JROTC, and I was friends on Facebook, right? I was friends on Facebook with one of my cadets, and she posted about her dad's birthday or whatever, and I looked at her dad and I was like, I recognize that guy. And so I messaged her, I was like, is your dad a fucking mailman? And she was like, yeah. And then she showed him a picture of me, and she told me what he said, which was like, oh yeah, I know that
I
kid.
gave that
He's
kid
got
my kidney.
He's like, oh yeah, I know that kid. He's got a small dog and a medium dog.
And a medium dog.
Medium dog.
He only remembers you by your dogs.
He's like, yeah, I know that guy.
Your dogs.
I love that Stinky's a medium dog.
Yeah, so did I. I love the fact that he called him a medium dog.
Because it makes you think like, oh, I want to see the large dog.
Medium.
All right.
Referring to an animal as medium size is just stupid funny to me.
We are at Kwanzaa now. This is
Kwanzaa,
December 26th as well.
I've waited for December 26th, you say?
Yeah.
That is a holiday in and of itself outside of Kwanzaa. That's a very important day.
Yeah, it's Boxing Day. We just went over that.
No, it's a very, very, very important day in Caps Off history. It's a very important day to a family member that we hold near and dear to our hearts. Our very own Matt Hammer.
Is that his
That's his birthday.
Oh. Happy birthday, Matt.
Happy birthday.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, because we won't say it, huh?
Happy birthday.
So, happy
to
birthday to
Matt
Matt
tomorrow.
Hammer. On the 26th, whenever he hears this.
This whole podcast. This is no longer the holiday special.
The Matt Hammer special.
It's Hammer time.
Did we just find the title for this week's episode? Because I sure fucking hope not.
We'll talk about it. What do you know about Kwanzaa?
I don't know anything at all about Kwanzaa.
You don't know anything about Kwanzaa? Do you
I'm
know,
usually spending that time celebrating.
Do you know what region it comes from? Okay. So you know, like, even down to, like, a single detail about Kwanzaa. You just know Kwanzaa exists.
Yep.
Okay. So in 1966, Dr. Maulana Karenga launched the holiday of Kwanzaa. It sounded like it was going somewhere bad there.
What was that name? Maulana Karenga?
Yeah, it's spelled like Mal and then Anna. Maulana.
Melania.
Karenga. Karenga.
Karenga my balls.
Oh my god.
Thank you for that. What a quality podcast this is.
Thanks. You ever had cheese from under?
Celebrated from December 26th to January 1st. It is a week of celebration held in the United States honoring African heritage and African American culture. So it's African American holiday, not quite an African holiday. I don't know. It doesn't say whether they celebrate it in Africa or not.
I mean, they.
I fucking hate my life. That's it. I'm done. I'm cashing in my chips. I'm out.
Here's a question for you.
The caps are off.
Do you know what a poinsettia is?
A poinsettia?
Yeah.
Of course I know what a poinsettia is. It's a red leafed plant.
It's a Christmas plant.
And it bleeds white chlorophyll.
There's no follow-up. That's it.
Man, cat poison, thank you.
I'm gonna have to hold on to that.
No.
The cat's annoying as fuck. That bitch be meowing at me.
The day Otto knocks over that Elvis statue you have.
up on the top of the cabinet.
It gets replaced with a pot of poinsettias. He'd be like, no, that's your area up there. You go ahead.
He knocks it over. I take care of business, and it's replaced with a stuffed cat. The same pose.
I'm loading poinsettia leaves into shells. There's not really much. I don't know what they do. Like I said, we should have looked further into these, or I should have, because I don't know
I'm
what
not
you
talking
do.
about it, man.
I don't know what you do on Kwanzaa.
I know my place.
1966. I feel like that's a good time for them to launch a holiday.
There were a lot of good things going on in 1966.
Yeah, like what?
Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band.
That's a good poll. Good poll out of
Might have been 67. But either way,
something
the
like
60s were, there was stuff happening in there.
We got two more.
Okay. Well, we're at an hour and 2 minutes, so.
I love it.
Last year's was an hour and 20 minutes, so we're good.
This one is on December 31st. Arguably New Year's Eve.
So
But not if you are a Scot. You celebrate.
the year doesn't change.
Yeah,
They're so bullheaded. They make it wait for them.
You celebrate Hogmanay.
Bless you.
You celebrate on 31st the holiday of Hogmanay. It's Hogmanay. Hogmanay.
Okay.
Or Hogmanay. I don't know if I'm saying that.
Many.
Hogmanay! However a Scot would say it. The Scots word for the last day of the year is synonymous.
It's bagpipes.
Nice. It's synonymous with the celebration of New Year's. Hogmanay's origin goes back to the celebration of the winter solstice among the Vikings with parties in late December.
Didn't they not get the memo? The winter solstice is 10 days before that.
Not for Vikings, it's not.
Well, they didn't fucking suck it.
It's also it's celebration for the last day of the year, but the Vikings celebrated normally for 3 days. So,
think they,
do you imagine New Year's Eve being 3 days long of just people getting drunk?
Oh my god.
Over
This is going to
and
be the
over and
first
over
New
again.
Year's Eve that I'm going to be able to get drunk.
It's going to be interesting. Do you have plans?
Weston and I always do something every year.
Oh, yeah, I remember
yeah.
last year you had a party.
And the year before that, I said, "Hey John, you want to come to a New Year's Eve party? You and your wife?" And you said, "Sure, when is it?" And I was like, "January 7th." And you were like, "Okay," and you believed me.
We both worked at the same place.
Yeah, we're having a New Year's Eve party on January
Conflicting
7th.
schedules.
I was so pregnant.
I don't know when
We were
any of
very
your
pregnant.
friends work. It could have very well been like, all right, well, maybe they're pushing it off to the 7th. I don't know. Maybe they're busy on the... Like, okay, New Year's
I'll give you, we
New
weren't really
Year's
all
is
that
a busy
close
day
yet,
for Domino's, too. And we
Yeah.
worked at Domino's.
but I'll give you, we weren't that close, so you didn't really know like my humor.
It was
quite
nice
as well
to
as
tell
you
me the
could've,
difference
but
hours before the party
I
on
was like,
New
"You showing
Year's
up?"
Eve.
You're like, no, no, I'm not showing up.
I was planning to show up next week, actually. And last, certainly not least, also December 31st. Take a wild guess what it is.
Hogmanay 2. New Year's Eve.
Yeah, it's New Year's Eve.
Boy, oh boy, do I look forward to New Year's Eve every
The
year.
last day on the Gregorian calendar, which we established episodes ago, I found out, was named after some guy named Greg.
Right.
It's celebrated in the evening with social gatherings and festivities that go past midnight into New Year's Day on January 1st. And on January, it's no longer the holiday season, so I don't care about January 1st.
Wow.
Is there any holidays in January that you can think of?
Martin Luther King Jr. Day?
Well, okay, that's a good one. I meant more like...
You were on a roll today, huh?
That's not fair. I meant
Who the
more
fuck
like...
would name their kid Mulk?
I meant more in the terms of like Easter is a holiday in the sense of like everybody's like, oh, bunnies and chocolate eggs and shit. Christmas is Santa Claus and stockings and shit.
There's New Year's
God,
Day.
We're about to lose our fire. You're gonna catch this live. Watch this. Bam.
Nice.
The
What'd you say?
illusion.
You just pulled him out of it. No, it's New Year's Day. New Year's Day is pretty special. I think.
But aside from that, and of course Martin Luther King Jr. Day, I meant because there's nobody dressing up as Martin Luther King walking around taking pictures and stuff.
God, I hope not. Oh fuck, I hope
I
not.
really hope not too. But I
Jimmy
meant
Fallon's
like, is there like? I feel like
The
Flag
rise
Day.
of blackface too.
Flag Day should go in January because
Think so?
January is the time of like
Well, okay.
you just got through all these holidays. You don't want one like Martin Luther King Day. You don't have to leave your house to be like it's Martin Luther King Jr.
Well,
Day.
I've got a story for you. There was a young man named Dave. All right, you're familiar
I
with a
hate
few
this
Daves.
already.
You're familiar with a few
Yeah.
Daves, a couple Ralphs.
Yeah.
But this young man was named Dave. He was still in his 20s. He was living it up, having a
Meet
good
Dave.
time. He had a and
You
his
ever seen that,
friends.
Eddie Murphy. You never saw Meet Dave?
No.
It was like Eddie Murphy is a robot controlled by little Eddie Murphys. You never saw it. Look it up. It's great. It would go perfectly in that category of like weird trailers where you're like, this was a movie?
You think Weston has that movie?
Oh, I would be willing to put money down that Weston has that movie on his big movie wall.
So anyway, there's a young man named Dave in his 20s, kind of partying, kind of hanging out. He gets invited to a killer New Year's Eve party. It was a fucking banger of a party. You know, have you ever been to a really good, really nice New Year's Eve party?
I've been to one or two.
Yeah? Well, Dave had a little to drink that night.
I'm so busy having sex all the time.
Right. Had a little bit to I do remember that. Yeah. He had a little bit to drink that night. He was feeling himself, you know. Probably shouldn't have driven, but decided to drive anyway.
Oh no!
And,
no!
Got in a car accident.
I know,
left behind
Dave.
his two boys, David and Trevor.
Oh no!
And
I
a third
didn't know
boy.
this was that Dave.
Oh God, yeah.
I didn't know this was
Oh,
that
David
Dave at all.
Valenzuela Sr. Oh boy, New Year's Day.
Oh my God! I didn't. I feel like you've definitely told me that detail
I
before.
probably have.
And-
I dress up as him on New Year's Day.
I can't.
Masquerade around,
can't
take
do
pictures
it.
with people.
Oh,
Ah!
that's what he looked like.
Ah! My head fucked up.
my-
Oh God. My mom's not gonna watch this.
Would she really care though? Do you think? Would she?
She does
take that
not
hard?
like when I
She
joke
doesn't
about
like
it.
those jokes. Okay.
It's not that she's
That's a
upset, but
detail
she
that
wants.
you've definitely
She spent a
left out.
lot of time trying to keep him in our good graces, you know.
Yeah,
And
I can
even
see
though he
that.
was, you know, not the best, she didn't want us to have a negative image of our biological father.
She got so much more of him than you did that it's like she has that image and you have the image of what you could possibly remember and what was built for you.
Don't remember at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got time.
We have this is our podcast. We have all the time in the world.
Yeah, it's true. So when is your earliest memory?
I'm so glad you asked this. I asked my dad this one time, and I was not disappointed because mine's not that great, but his was awesome.
Okay.
But
He's like, well, it was the first snowfall.
Now he's naked. John's naked dad.
my first memory is at my childhood house, which is the house my parents still live in. And I don't know
around.
I don't know where my parents were, but I was in the care of my two older brothers and my oldest sister. They were watching me, and they were not watching me. And I went into the bathroom, I think to go to the bathroom, and I have no idea.
That's where you would do that,
right.
like, most of the time.
I have no idea what came over me, but I got the greatest idea to climb in the shower, like into the tub, and just start turning knobs. And it came down on me. The water started going, and it was really, really fucking cold. So cold that I immediately turned all the faucets back off and just went out and sat on the couch behind like all my siblings who were just sitting there like watching TV, just hanging out, and they didn't notice I was wet at all. And I just kind of like soaked in cold, wet water. And that's like literally my earliest memory.
How
And
old
I
were you?
can't think. I don't know how old I was, but I can't think of anything before that. And I know it was young enough to be the point where like I could see Louis doing something like that just because he's curious. He wants to get in and just get in and touch stuff, and that makes I identify with
had to
that when I
guess-
put myself in that mindset.
If you had to guess,
If I had to
roughly
guess?
age like this to that.
I don't believe that my brain is really that capable of remembering anything past like 2 or 3, so I had to be within the 3 or 4 range.
Okay, good. Yeah, mine too. Mine was arguing with my older brother. We were standing outside of our house. This was before I was in preschool, and I was in preschool ages, I think 4 to 5. So, I was 3 or 4, and we were arguing outside of our house about whether we lived in Sierra Vista or Tucson. And I was like, I swear to you, we live in Tucson. And he was like, nope, we do not. I promise you we don't. And I was like, yes, we do. And I was arguing it.
It's Arizona. It's Tucson.
I was arguing that because it was easier to say. I did not want to live in a place with as many syllables as Sierra Vista.
Tucson.
Yeah,
just
Tucson.
like that. Bam, bam.
Sierra Vista. Are you kidding me?
Love that. Real quick, my father's earliest memory.
Right.
I asked him this the most recent time I went back to visit him in Iowa. And actually, no, it was the time before that. And we were both drunk. And I don't know how it popped into my head, but I was like, what's the earliest you can remember? And he, like, so seriously, like, looked down and thought as hard as he could. And then he looked back up. Yeah. He looked back up and without opening his eyes, just kind of like, I was on the train with my mom. We were going from Pennsylvania to Sierra Vista, and I got tapioca pudding because I was a good boy. And I was like, wow, that is the best answer I ever could have hoped for.
Wow.
It's so specific. It's like, you know where you were, you know what was going on, you know who was there. Like, I barely have that together. And mine was something as stupid as just like, I got myself wet. And his is like, he was being spoon-fed something.
Yeah.
Like, that's so far back. And even in his age now, like, he's not fucking like 60 or something, but he's 52, I think, 51 or 52. He's getting in his 50s now. And he's got a really good memory when it comes to, like, numbers and stuff, but he forgets important shit all the time. So the fact that he can recall back to being spoon-fed tapioca pudding because he's a fucking good boy is blowing my mind every day.
Isn't that crazy that we retain something like that? Like,
Yeah.
there's an event that's so minuscule. It's only important because it's the first thing our brains stored away.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. I talked to Weston about this a little bit ago, and he said his first was like riding in a car with his parents, and he said he was like 6 or 7. And that was so
Wow.
weird to me. That was so
Yeah.
weird. That was like late, but I don't know. I just think that's like kind of interesting. Everyone's brain hits a different point where they're like, you know what, this is it. This is the memory that it's time to start holding on to things, you know. And I just kind of I wonder when my kids, whenever they come in like 20, 30 years, I wonder what's going to be important enough for them for their brain.
You don't have a kid
or,
in your 40s. I'm just going to say that.
Or even Louis, you know, what do you think Louis, like, what is his brain going to say? This is important enough that this is the moment I need to start remembering stuff.
God.
Yeah.
That also makes me seriously want to rethink a lot of the stuff I do. Not that I like do crazy stuff around him, but I always like if it comes down to that, like, very fine, like, this is what's gonna stick
You do
out.
a fat fucking dab.
No, I just
Like,
want it to
my
be
first
something.
memory, what was that thing?
I want it to be something like significant and memorable or something like that. Yeah, not me like railing an 8-ball on the like coffee table.
I think I did give West
Like
some
punch him in
grief over.
glass.
I did give him some grief over like how late it was, but I think ideally that's a really good first memory to have, is just like a road trip with your family and just kind of realize, like,
Yeah.
you know, that's something nice. It's something everyone's a part of, and I think that's a good moment. I think that's a good thing to leave off on. We're at an hour and 16 minutes.
I want to keep
you got
going
one more
just
thing?
a little bit. Yeah.
Okay.
It ties into perfectly what my thing is. I said we were going to come back to later, which is, I'll ask you first. What is, if you can think of, your greatest Christmas memory? If you can think of, like, maybe it was a gift, maybe you guys went and did something special. What's the one that stands out immediately to you?
2010. So 11 years ago.
Okay.
I got an Xbox 360. It was the Halo Reach edition.
Nice.
And after opening all my presents, which I'm sure I had a lot of other great ones, I had been a Halo fan before that, but I had only read the books. I had never played a Halo game in my life. I had only read the books, and I knew the descriptions from the books of the Covenant, and I knew, like from my friends who had told me, like, this is kind of what they look like, and little drawings that they had made. But I got a Halo Reach Edition Xbox, and my dad and brother and I sat on my bed in my bedroom and just looked up at the TV mounted on the wall, and we all started up that Xbox together and played through the first mission. The three of us, really my dad playing and us watching. That was my best Christmas memory, just playing Halo Reach on Christmas
really
morning.
Good one.
It's a great one.
That one rings. It's so good it rings over across the table to me.
Seeing the Covenant for the first time, and since then I've just been a massive Halo fan. It's up there as like some of my top fictions. So
Nice. That was gonna make mine look bad.
I'm sorry.
Well, no, it's, mine is it's weird because it was when I was in I think 5th grade. Everything's in 5th grade.
Yeah.
It was either 5th grade or 4th grade, but my family wasn't doing very well.
I was in 5th grade in 2010.
Yeah, moving on to 6th grade. My family wasn't doing the best financially. It happens. So we were taken out. We went to recess during school. We went to recess, and I was out at. Sorry, I'd rethink of where I was. I was out at recess with all the other kids, and me and another kid, Randy Ronner, got plucked.
Randy Ronner, I hardly know.
Yeah. I only said that because there's two other people in the room that would know who that is. We got plucked, and we got pulled inside because we got brought into our classroom where there was like 2 desks filled up with presents, and we're like, oh my gosh. And we went and we started like grabbing presents. We're like, this is all great for us. We get to keep this. It's amazing. And it never really, which is probably a good thing. They like mission accomplished on all the adults that had a hand in this, because it never processed in my head that I was being gifted all this extra stuff because I wasn't really going to have a Christmas at home. So I had and there were like a lot of really cool toys, probably stuff that I didn't really would have played with, but like I was not upset to see any of it. And that was paired with Christmas Day itself. I went home and I had, because those gifts weren't wrapped or anything. I got to immediately take them and play with them. But all the other gifts, as a kid, you think you have to wait till Christmas to get your Christmas presents.
Yeah.
Our tree didn't have anything under it. My parents weren't really pushing the Santa thing, but I think as the youngest, I was still. That's
kind of weird.
Might have been
it's
holding
like
on
saying,
to it.
Like, you can believe the sky is blue or not.
They weren't big on pushing a lot of things, which I'm kind of thankful for, because I also didn't come out of them religious or anything. So there's ups and downs. But so Christmas Day comes up and they pull out this big black trash bag, and it looks.
Not the toys we're talking
As an elementary schooler, it looks like a big Santa's bag full of gifts, and it was probably one of the greatest things my young eyes has ever seen. And the gifts coming out of it weren't great either. They were not as good as the gifts I got at school, but there were more like a couple decks of cards, some like cups with some famous characters on it, like a Monsters Inc. cup I remember I got, stuff like that. A lot of cheap items like toy squirt guns and stuff like that. A lot of dollar store stuff. And it was the greatest Christmas I have ever had. And now that Christmas has come to like spoil like milk over time, because as I mature, I start to realize that the only reason that none of those presents were wrapped is because my parents had just gotten that bag of Christmas presents from like Toys for Tots. Families that can't afford their Christmas, so they go and they, you kind of walk through and pick out toys that are being donated and stuff. And on top of that, they didn't take the time to take them out of the bag and wrap them. They were just like, look at this, which, like I said, that was almost a better effect than like being able to unwrap individual presents, because like I had never seen a big bag full of just toys before.
Right.
And it was nuts. And the way they just, boom, dropped it on the ground and we all just got to go through it was amazing. And I had no idea just how impoverished I was. I had not a fucking lick of an idea just at how pathetic the situation going on in front of everybody was.
Well, right. But back then, I hate to sound like a fucking Hallmark dolt, but the magic of Christmas was there. That's what that was for you.
Yeah.
It was like the spirit of the holiday, right?
Christmas
spirit. My theater teacher once assigned us an assignment. This is one of the first short films I ever really made with my friends. but it was like, she was like, okay, most of you don't believe in Santa Claus anymore. And there's this weird thing that happens when you become a parent where, like, as a kid, Christmas is awesome and wonderful and everything seems like just like the songs describe. And then you kind of fall out of it. And then you become a parent and you get to kind of become Santa Claus. You know, you get to give that joy to your kid, that same sort of magic feeling. And it's something just
It's
unmatched.
a really good fucking point.
She talked about just, you can't match it. And so what she wanted us to aim for with our little projects was, like, capture that, give that feeling to the rest of the classroom, you know, and I thought that was nice, and both of our stories kind of remind me of that.
I can identify with that a lot because even, like I said, I've never been a Christmas guy, but I mean, look at all this junk. I'm coming around to it because I have my own son that I can start trying things with. So I can kind of get around with that.
Yeah, and it's I don't know, it's kind of great. I think that's the best parts of the holidays is the warm memories that you have surrounding it, not fucking Starbucks cups, not a tree or right or anything. But it's usually just stories like that where you're like, yeah, I remember that was like, it seemed like something right out of a movie, even though it was a black trash bag, you know, or something as simple as just sitting on my bed and playing video games, which happened countless times, but that time it was special. That time it meant something, you know, and it's real fun, I think.
Well, I hope that was enough warmth for you on this holiday season. And for the first time ever, they will get to see us shake hands.
Here we go. Well, even though we did that earlier.
For the second time ever.
So,
happy holidays, everybody.
Happy holidays from your friends at Caps Off.
This is Carl.
Why lie to us? It's not that simple. No excuses, just tell me. To you, we would have just been two people who look exactly like you, telling you things you never could have imagined. He's enslaving people. I needed you on my side. You think I'm too weak-willed to decide what's right and wrong? Aren't we all? No! I'm not like you. I'm not like any of you. You're kidding, right? I'm not going to stand by while somebody walks all over everybody else just because I share the same face as the guy. That's not how justice works. Why aren't you guys saying anything? Screw this. I'm going by myself. Maybe by the time I get back, you'll all have at least chosen a side. And then we'll figure out whether it's the right one or not. He's right. Shut up, Slow Trevor. He's not right. Did you just see that tantrum? Wait. Why am I Slow Trevor? Well, what you just said is why you're Slow Trevor. I can't be Slow Trevor. My name is Leopold, and I am too smart and observant. Nothing ever gets by me. What are you talking about? I'm exactly the same as the other Trevor. If anything, that should be Slow Trevor. Don't you ever talk about him like that again. That is a precious baby. Are you kidding me? Don't ever. I will mess you up. You know how many people I know? What are you going to do? Oh, what are you going to do? You're going to shoot him in the wall. Shoot me to death. I want to know. And he likes the death sentence on 12 systems or a whole lot of different things. I want to hear those very pansy. You can do other things like that. So I'm not going to hurt you. Oh, don't worry. We can do some... I'm afraid I've been expecting you. My Johns are safely stowed away. You cannot hurt them. I don't want to hurt them. I want to free them. Your first mistake is thinking there is a difference. You think that freedom is harmful? Do you not see what's going on around you? Hunger, wild conspiracies, racism, sexism, unnecessary war, rampant political division. Or do all of these things just go over your head? These are things that my John cared about before he passed. The task bestowed upon me is to eliminate them in his name. Under me, any bit of hatred or intolerance will be punished harshly and immediately, so as to ensure it doesn't happen again. Imagine a society where everybody is forced to respect one another, to care for one another. How can a world like that be bad? It's what my John wanted. It is what your John currently wants. Your idea of unity is twisted. So what, you take over your world, then my world, then everybody else's? I don't want to do it. I have to. Free will has led a lot of people to do a lot of awful things. Would you agree? Well, sure, but think of all the good that's come out of it too. Peace and equality is about bringing everybody up to the same level, with the same opportunities, not pinning everybody underneath your thumb. Dangerous freedom is always preferable to peaceful slavery. I was really hoping you would see things my way, but it looks like that's not going to happen. I'm sorry it has to be this way. I'm sorry someone like me could become someone like you.